Hiruzen Sarutobi is accused of 5 major sins. First, he let the Uchiha clan get massacred. Second, he let Danzo off the leash. Third, he let Orochimaru go. Fourth, he was responsible for the Hyuga Tragedy. And fifth, but worst of all, he mistreated Naruto. But if you look at the picture with a clear head and not follow random Reddit opinions, you will realize that most of his actions actually make sense. In fact, they were played for the betterment of the village. In this video, we will see how his decisions were actually very wise. But just to be clear, I'm not saying he did not make any mistakes. Everyone does. So let's get into it. I don't understand the point here. What exactly did people want Hiruzen to do? To raise him as a highly pampered royalty inside the Hokage mansion? Actually, the way Naruto was brought up was quite well handled. It's not like he was thrown into that room just after he was born. Of course, someone looked after him since his parents had just died. This trend of living alone all by yourself is very common throughout the series. Look at Kakashi. After Sakumo killed himself, he too used to live alone and do his own dishes. And he was almost the same age as Naruto. Sasuke also lived alone. Now, if people knew that Naruto was the son of Minato, he would obviously be treated like a royalty. But not many people knew about that. And Hiruzen also forbade the villagers to comment on Naruto's 9-tailed fox. This was how he chose to protect the kid. First, Minato had made hundreds of enemies during wars who wouldn't think twice before killing his son. And second, organizations were already on the move to get a hold of tailed beasts. So if everyone was openly calling him Naruto Namikaze or the Fox Boy or whatever, Naruto and possibly the entire village would be in danger. Naruto had a lack of supervision, but he wasn't mistreated in any way. He was given an apartment, a monthly allowance, and his academy tuition fee was also paid by the Hokage. So, regarding Naruto, we should give Hiruzen some rest. With that out of the way, let's see how the Hyuga Tragedy is not actually related to Hiruzen. The Hyuga Tragedy is often attributed to Hiruzen's lack of intervention. However, the situation was far more complex than it appears on the surface. The head cloud ninja of Hidden Cloud tried to abduct Hinata, but Lord Hayashi killed him. The Hidden Cloud didn't buy these accusations and demanded the execution of Hiyashi, the clan leader. Being one of the noblest clans in the village, they had every option to deny this utterly unreasonable demand of Hidden Cloud and let the war break out. But Hiyashi chose to present himself in order to save the entire village. However, the Hyuga elder insisted that the main family's Kekkei Genkai shouldn't be placed into enemy hands. So Hizashi, Hayashi's younger brother, volunteered to be killed instead of his brother. In all this, Hiruzen had nothing to do except play the role of a mediator between the Hyuga and Hidden Cloud. No matter how hard it would have been, Hiruzen would have gone to war with Hidden Cloud and probably come out victorious. The only reason he was hesitant was the number of shinobi the war would consume. The situation with Orochimaru is another complication. Enma argued that Hiruzen should have executed Orochimaru the moment his activities were discovered. However, Orochimaru was not just any shinobi. He was Hiruzen's student and one of the legendary Sannin. His talent and potential made him a significant asset to the village, and Hiruzen hoped that there was still a chance for redemption. The decision to let Orochimaru go was also influenced by the fact that Orochimaru had gathered considerable power and resources. Engaging him in a full-scale battle within the village could have led to catastrophic losses. Hiruzen's decision to banish him instead of executing him was a strategic move to prevent immediate bloodshed and buy time to prepare for future threats. It was a choice made out of a combination of hope, caution, and the greater good of the village. He didn't know that Orochimaru would evolve into something even more horrible. Then there is the incident of Konoha Crush, where Orochimaru beats him. Just before the Chunin exams, he discussed with Anko that he could not fight Orochimaru, so he was prepared to die, and that's why he was looking for Jiraiya all over the place. Still, he made sure to decapacitate Orochimaru against the village for a very long time. It burns you inside when you see what Danzo did, and Hiruzen still lets him live. But there is another side to the coin. Hiruzen just couldn't afford to lose Danzo. Hiruzen stayed Hokage for 43 years and led 2 wars on behalf of Konoha. Winning wars and coming out victorious isn't child's play. It requires dirty and unethical tricks. Danzo was a shadowy figure who exploited the village's resources and undermined Hiruzen's authority. He genuinely believed in the protection and supremacy of the Hidden Leaf Village, no matter how extreme or ruthless the methods. By allowing Danzo to create his root organization and giving him some degree of autonomy, Hiruzen could keep the more hawkish elements within and outside the village in check. This balance was crucial in maintaining stability. Danzo was someone who could take actions that Hiruzen, bound by moral and ethical constraints, could not. This division of roles allowed Hiruzen to maintain a public image of a kind leader, while Danzo handled the darker and cruel aspects of governance. There is also the case that Hiruzen believed in the potential for redemption and change, but that hope was lost on Danzo. And now let's get into the most brutal part where Danzo's unchecked evil reached its peak. You cannot deny that Hiruzen Sarutobi did his best to thwart the upcoming Uchiha coup, and the Uchiha issue has been around since the start of the village. It was known for a fact that Madara Uchiha had once summoned and controlled the Nine Tails. So it was only natural to suspect the Uchiha for the recent summon, since a diplomatic solution to this problem was getting nowhere, and they were running out of time. Hiruzen accepted the proposition of Shisui Uchiha to use his Kotoa Matsukami on Fugaku and stop the coup, and that might have done the job. But then Danzo came into the equation, and Shisui died. The final option that Hiruzen had is now over. The next bit is hard to digest. Who do you think Itachi was working for? Hiruzen? Not really. He was Danzo's man. The shinobi of darkness himself. This is what Danzo told Itachi when he joined the Anbu. Beginning today, you will become a squad leader in the Anbu. You are not part of the Foundation per se, but your mission orders will come from me. There is no need to report anything to Hiruzen and his staff. And Itachi replied with a, "Yes, sir." At this point, what could you even do? Tell the Uchiha that we know about your plan, and just surrender. The Uchiha are the police force and formidable. They will murder you instead. You can't tell them to leave the village either. They are the original creators of the village. The Senjus are rare now, but the Uchihas are still there. Using a 13-year-old Itachi could be considered rash, but the ninja world doesn't concern itself with ages. As for his intelligence, Hiruzen himself said he had a very high IQ. In fact, the massacre was as much of a suggestion of Itachi as any of the higher-ups. This was the most complex situation in the entire show. It was a kill or be killed situation for the village. Still, Hiruzen tried to use alternatives, but unlike other elements, he was not a hater of the Uchiha. It was the only option he was left with at the end, and nothing else would have done it. This is one of the many times Danzo hurt the village in ignorance. Still, the decision was all for the greater good of the greater number of people. Hiruzen made a decision that no leader would ever want to make. He wasn't perfect in any way, but still, I would like to address the part where he's considered the weakest Hokage. Considering the history of Konoha, only 2 shinobis bore the title of God of Shinobi, and Hiruzen Sarutobi was one of them. He fought 3 wars, led and won 2 of them, got directly tutored by the first and second Hokage, raised 2 generations of ninjas, fought and pushed 9 tails out of the village. He was forced to come out of the retirement and lead the village, because there was no better option to replace Minato, mastered all the jutsus the Leaf Village had to offer, became the youngest Hokage ever, ended up being the strongest shinobi produced by the Sarutobi clan, was able to fend off the 2 beasts of Hokage in his old age, protected and looked after countless orphans including Sasuke, Naruto, Kakashi, Iruka, and a lot more. His own son got picked among the 12 guardian shinobi, mastered all the 5 chakra natures, trained the best of the best shinobis, the Sannin, and finally developed the village into its current shape after 43 years of constant hard work. That should be enough to establish that Hiruzen is far from weak. I hope I clear a little fog around Hiruzen. Check out this video to see how Hyugas protect their Byakugan.